you there? Welcome back to.
I'm back.
It's one of those mornings.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Lynn?
It still breaks up a bit in between.
Our technical fundi is in studio, so he will try and troubleshoot as best as he can. So
No.
you are sharing a story with the larger the birth of your first child, Moegamat Keyaan. Let me ask you the first question. Did you have a normal pregnancy?
Not really. I had a lot of complications every month, 2 weeks in and out of hospital, infections, contractions. Yeah, gave birth actually quite early. So the birth went fine, healed quite fine. Just the pregnancy itself was quite difficult. He was too big to
Then,
carry.
okay, during the pregnancy, uh, did the doctors, did your gynecologist at any point suggest to you that there may be in terms of uh, some sort of a medical condition
No.
because kept just given the assurance that everything is okay?
We done the normal blood work. Any tests that needed to be done, none of that showed up because they didn't know much about it. Then when he was in ICU, they never done a eye test. So because they said they only do it up until a certain age under preemie babies. So they didn't do any of that during pregnancy, even after birth. We actually had to pick it up ourselves because we were quite concerned because he kept going squint, not reaching milestones. So when we took him for his 7 month appointment with his pediatrician, that's when we said to her, look, he's not fixating on stuff. We need to know what's happening. Does he maybe need glasses? And then we had to obviously see an ophthalmologist. And then we seen about three or four just for extra information. And they all came back to say, no, it is optic nerve hypoplasia. So it's optic nerve hypoplasia. That's like if it's maybe just slightly, but he has septo-optic. So that's when it affects both eyes, both nerves in the eyes. Um, doesn't allow him to really see much, comes with a lot of obstacles along the way, you can say.
All right, how old is he at the moment, and how old was he when you as a couple realized something wrong with Moegamat Keyaan?
So he's 2 years and 5 months now. When we found out he was just 7 months, on the day, 7 months.
What was it saying or not displaying that
Sorry, the line broke again. I didn't hear the
break
question.
up? I do apologize. Right? At 7 months, that you as a first time realized that something's wrong here. I need to have him checked out.
So obviously, babies, certain ages, they need to start rolling, they need to start sitting up, keeping the head steady, laughing, trying to giggle, having the bubbly conversation. He wasn't doing any of that. Every time his eyes would go squint, we'd have lights up in the house. He won't look. Um, wouldn't really sleep. Sleep patterns were completely out. When I say out, I mean day is night for him, and then night is day. So at 7 months, it was his normal checkup in any case. And then we said, look, we need to find out what is happening. If our child is maybe partially blind, if there's something with the eye, maybe, because of him being so small with preemie, there's maybe something there. So for us, it was a bit difficult when we had to find out, no, he's blind. So the first doctor we seen didn't diagnose him with the condition itself. He just told us, no, unfortunately, your son is blind. And that's when we
Oh,
wanted more opinions.
so sorry for you. It is so heartbreaking that this baby has to go through all of this. I can't even the parent knowing that perhaps for a long time in your child's life, you're probably going to be in and out of doctors' rooms and in hospitals. So at this point in time, what is his condition, and what have you been advised by the medical experts? How do you go forward? Is there a chance, inshallah, that he can regain his eyesight?
So, with doctors in the beginning, because it was fairly new to us, they wanted us to see as much ophthalmologist, eye doctors as much as possible, just to finalize, make sure, if there's any light perception, any fixation on anything, which there hasn't been. And then due to COVID as well, he's supposed to have doctor visits, like I put in the back body post. It's either every month, 2 weeks, it's depending. So due to COVID, that kind of backstepped us quite a bit, especially last year. So this year we've had to be on point. So last year he had 2 testosterone injections. Um, this year he's seeing every 2-3 weeks doctors, that is from his pediatrician, his endocrinologist, his ophthalmologist that he has to see. They do a lot of blood work, MRI scans, EEGs as well. So they don't have much knowledge about the condition itself in our country, because there's not much children that has the condition. So we're still fairly new on everything, so are the doctors. So for them it's like, if we have to do something, we need to first see, okay, how else can we do this, what is there going forward. So it's quite difficult because there's not much resources for us. um, for him gaining sight future, he can only tell us once he's of a certain age where he can talk to like a proper conversation, to say, Mom, I can see this, I can see that. But when we had the last ophthalmologist appointment, so they take like a magnifying glass and then like a light that they shine through to see if there's any reaction on the nerves, which there isn't. So, like we were trying to obviously find out more information if there is any treatments. So there is a stem cell therapy, but it's more in a trial basis and not really on children as much. Like they explained, it can help or it can't. It obviously depends, but it's not a thing that it's going to last for a lifetime. It can maybe only last 2 years, 5 years. So, but that's only in Germany. So there's not much. And like I said, our country doesn't have the resources for it. So we're still even waiting to see a neurologist, which is supposed to help us with his seizures and the growth hormones, because as you know, he suffered from seizures recently. That's why we done an EEG. So they put him on medication. They have to monitor his blood every time to make sure the levels are normal, that the medication is helping control it. The growth hormone, he hasn't been growing. So your growth hormone, like they explained to us, comes from his liver. His liver isn't producing any. So they don't want it where he gets older and everything on the outside is maybe fully grown, but on the inside it's not, or vice versa.
So, in terms of other complications, else are the doctors telling you?
So he
Rare
will, so like so
condition.
far, yes.
It's a very rare. So it's everything that you as a family are doing, and is really everything is trial and error. If this, then they have to try an alternative therapy. All of
So the
these
only
visits and all of the and therapy obviously comes at a huge cost. But let me hand over to you, and you can respond to those two questions.
Okay, so I only heard the one of the cost and the other
Oh, you didn't hear? Okay. Uh, is he? I'm picking up from what you've told me, and I do apologize for the line, which is so bad. We've got the technical team to sort it out, but let's hope that you can get a gist of the question. Wise, reaching milestones normally. You indicated there's a problem with his growth hormones. What
yes.
is that suggesting? You also said that he needs to have some form of hormone therapy. What is that then saying to you?
So the growth hormone therapy is there to help the organs grow, his body weight as well, the length and everything. So for his age, he's under average, which is not supposed to happen. Weight as well, he's not really picking up any weight like he's supposed to. Um, then concerning the growth hormone treatment, that is something me and my husband has to give to him. So it's similar to an EpiPen that he only gets at night. Um, so that's just obviously, like I said, is to assist him, getting him for growth and everything. For the milestone part, he hasn't walked, he hasn't crawled, he missed all of that. So we've never experienced any of that. So the school that he's going to has a speech therapist. He does physio with them as well. We're going to be starting occupational therapy soon. We just want him to, do one thing at a time. So with the physio, they trying to push him to strengthen his core because his core and the leg muscles are quite weak. Because, like I say, he skipped that whole section of his milestones. So they just trying to strengthen everything, getting him to move out of his comfort zone, reaching for stuff that's behind him, being able to feel for things, pulling it towards himself, not always just getting given in his hands, trying to make him stand without support as much. We actually need to get a walking aid, but it's not the normal one. So it's a pediatric disability walking aid, which is quite expensive. That's another reason why we're doing the donations. Um, so they will need that to obviously assist to strengthen everything, to be able to get him to move the right leg, the left leg, be able to know that he has the pelvic area that he needs to move as well, the hips and everything.
I see some beautiful pictures. It is absolutely heart wrenching knowing that Moegamat Keyaan has all of these complications. Does he respond to you and your husband?
Yes, so he's actually quite close with my husband. That's the baby.
Out of him.
Sorry.
How do you stimulate him to get a response out?
So we try to have normal conversations, no baby talk, nothing baby. So it's mainly us having a conversation, saying to him, look, we're going here, we're doing this. Do you want this? So we still try to give him an option, still allow him to understand what is around him, who's who. So if he's with his father, for example, he knows, okay, if I need to eat with my father, there's no playing around. So he'll say, okay, eating with daddy. So he'll say eating time, and then he'll know if his father's feeding him. If we dress him, we also try to make him feel this is that. Same thing with his food as well. So the communication is just trying to keep everything as normal as possible, not really trying to baby him because then it doesn't make it easier for him in the long run, just makes it worse. So we still try to keep everything as normal as possible, still taking him out, still spending time with him, still playing with him, still buying him toys, feeding him the normal foods. Yeah.
Speak, there's a problem. He's blind, but he can speak, he can hear, but he can't walk. Is he able to sit upright?
Yeah, so he can sit upright. His conversations is like one, two words. There's not really much verbal there. So what we try to do is we try to give him, like I said, the option. So we'll repeat it constantly to him, saying it's time to eat, and he'll say eating time, something that he can maybe pronounce to make it easier for himself. Um, the blindness, obviously, that is completely there. Yeah, that's just
How
yeah.
do you and your husband hold up under conditions?
Mainly our family. He has a
Alhamdulillah.
lot of grandparents. So
Alhamdulillah.
I mean they there 24/7. Um, if we need help, whether it's money, support, obviously everybody can only do to what they can, but I mean they always there. So it's not like we always need to reach far out if we need support or comfort or advice. If say for example the doctor's given us maybe bad news, we'll phone and be like, look, we look up to each other, but then we're like, okay, we need to get a hold of family. This is what we need to do. Then they obviously give us advice like they And we have another little one, so that also makes it just a bit easier because he's like a comfort for us with Keyaan as well, to say, you know what, it's not just because you have Keyaan, you can't have more children, or you have to just stop there because of his condition. So for us having another little one, um, it's a whole okay for me. It's a whole new thing because I don't know how it is because he's reaching the milestones that Kian's never done. I have my husband has a little girl. She's the eldest. So well, she's not mine, but she's there, so she doesn't have any of those. But I mean, the baby is a whole new process for me too.
Alhamdulillah. And the new baby is completely okay.
Yes, he's good. He's good.
That's wonderful. Talk to us about the school that Keyaan attends. It's a special needs school.
Yes.
What is the
So
school? Where is it based? And do you believe?
sorry, I just heard what you said. And do you believe?
Okay, am I still breaking up?
Yes, you're still breaking up.
Okay, the school that is it the right environment for him? Also,
So
want you to tell me about Back a Buddy.
okay. So the school that he goes to, the name we just try to keep private, obviously, just for safety purposes. But it is based in Reimsach's area. So they special needs school for all kinds of kiddies and everything. They've actually been very helpful towards Kian, especially with the progress that's been happening. Like I said, Kian wouldn't want to stand, wouldn't really want to talk, wouldn't be comfortable around strangers at all. Now he is much calmer, not so much aggressive, starting to eat a lot more, starting to try and have conversations more, tries to answer us in his own way. Like I said, the standing and that, and him trying to move around is much more, sits up on his own, which is a bit more stable for us, where he used to be a bit wobbly on the side. Then the backer buddies. So for us concerning all the doctors, it's been a lot. So we have the medical aid, but medical aids only cover their health rate. So when we pay for his doctors, it's not like at least, in the Discovery health rate or whatever. So his doctor's appointments are between 3,000, 4,000 rand. So when we claim back, it's not, what we're paying for. It's like a 700 rand. So we spoke to his doctors and we're like, listen, we can't afford this. We're going to have to either try and do government, or is there a way you can maybe assist us? And his pediatrician actually had a child similar to Kian's condition, but it's not the same, but it's just a similar case. And she said, listen, this family has done a back body page. Tell his story. The school told us the same thing. Tell his story. If you need to raise funds for him, they can assist you. Obviously, it works by donations. You just tell the whole story. You add a picture or two about him. You share the link. Obviously, people who read, they can donate to you or however it works. So when we done the back body, I won't lie, it did start off quite slow. Um, so they just like an organization just to assist you. We have tried other organizations, but unfortunately, a lot of them don't do it where they take donations every month or at any given time. They allow either where they pay you a percentage, meaning they will assist you if there's one or two doctor visits that he needs, they'll only cover for that, and that is it. So the backup body was actually our best option because it gives people more awareness about it. If you want to read about it on the link, or you know somebody that can donate, we've done that. Um, so far, we've raised on the backup body 71,000. Our target
Alhamdulillah.
is 300,000. That's just to start off with, because we said we don't want it to be too big and not too small, because obviously we just worked out
You're
quite some.
freezing up there, Zenit. Can you just repeat that, please, because I lost you there.
No problem. So the backup body, we've raised 71,000. Our target is 300,000. That's just to start off with, just to see how well we do. As like I said, that money is mainly for him, to assist him. And then cash wise, we have 9,000 as well. That's from close family and friends that felt they need to give it, personally. So, like I said, we've obviously still looking at other organizations still that can help us in the sense. So we're trying to look more at sponsors that can either assist us in maybe the walking aid or the service dog, because it's quite expensive. Um, so yeah, there's a lot that we still need to do, but we're trying to start off small with the things that we need right now, rather than jumping and saying no, we need to get it now. Yeah.
I think I'm going to leave it there. I do apologize for the bad. I'm not sure if it's from my side or your side. We definitely revisit the story. And through obviously this interview, we make lots of dua, inshallah, that people dig deep into their hearts and into their pockets they can. And we also put our hands Allah that Allah grant Keyaan Shifa in all sick children, all little sick children all around the world. Allah watch Shifa. Once again, I do apologize for this bad line, but I think it was such an important to be shared with our community. They're going to come out in their droves, inshallah. Till the next time watching over you, just know that. And I have no doubt in my mind that people are going to dig into their go well. And assalamu alaikum to you.
Salam.
Okay, I don't think the last part of the closing comments on the interview. The line has been very bad. I actually was a bit reluctant earlier, but the line is really bad. We are battling this morning with technical Fundi, and inshallah he can come in and it is 9:14 exactly. This is news and views right here on Salam Media. We're going to hope it's all systems go.